This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis, in for Tom Webster. Here's what you need to know for today, Monday, May 6th. First up, Beyond the Headphones, the portrait of a Filipino podcast listener. A new study conducted in the Philippines surveyed 850 residents from late October to late November of last year. In the 4 years since the last version of the survey, podcasting has risen from 22.5% in preferred media platforms in the Philippines, that's sixth place overall, to 50.5%, third behind social media networks, which got 80.8%, and overall internet, which got 81.9%. 95% of respondents consume something from a media platform on a daily basis, and 71% of that group are daily podcast listeners. Keeping on that theme of global listening, up next, where are global podcast listeners in 2024? New stats from YouGov collect consumer surveys from 47 global markets to give a view of podcast listening on a global scale. 40% of respondents listen to podcasts for more than an hour per week. 10% listen for more than 10 hours per week. Podcasting's global growth is also contributing to the overall consumption of audio as a medium, according to new research from PQ Media. Next, goodbye to our GARM safety ratings today. DEA may reclassify marijuana, but cannabis ads will still be off limits to radio. An upcoming proposal would potentially reduce marijuana down to a Schedule 3 drug instead of Schedule 1, putting it on the same legal level as ketamine, anabolic steroids, and testosterone. As legislation currently stands, radio and TV stations cannot run advertisements for cannabis dispensaries. Podcasting, on the other hand, can, and already has. For instance, back in September, we covered a dispensary's announcement that they would run geo-targeted podcast ads in Illinois for their dispensaries on Spotify. Keeping things medicinal, after years of caution, pharma advertisers are embracing influencer marketing. Healthcare and pharmaceutical companies like Gilead Science are dipping their toes into influencer marketing. For example, Digitas Health has incorporated influencer partnerships into their campaign for their PrEP brand Discovery. And for those who don't know, PrEP is a HIV prevention drug. And those partnerships have outperformed previous paid digital and paid social work, according to Digitas's Director of Engagement Strategy. As more pharma advertisers look into the world of influencer marketing, podcasting is situated to be a natural fit. And finally, what Trudeau's podcast appearances say about Canada's next election. Incumbent Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been making the podcast rounds, appearing on Today Explained, Freakonomics, and The Big Story, with interviews ranging between half an hour and an hour. As CBC News' Aaron Wary notes in his coverage, a big motivator in the uptick of political podcast guests is the desire for candidates to discuss policies in a more long-form way than press junkets or speeches allow. And as for the rest of the news, the media leader covers the future of audio and entertainment 2024, including the sentiment audio must take ownership if it wants to get into more media plans. Amplify Media's Stephen Goldstein revisits a 2022 piece titled Why So Many Branded Podcasts Fail. PRX debuts new features and interface for its Dovetail podcast publishing platform. And Project Brazen has launched a 6-part investigative podcast about the unsolved gas attack that took place during a Chicago furry convention in 2014. Be sure to check out all the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by Brian Barletta, myself, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us tomorrow.